18 WJTS News, I'm Charlotte Olson. 2 people were injured, but no charges were filed in a 2-car rear-end collision this morning in Ferdinand. The DuBois County Sheriff's Department says that around 7:15 a.m. today, a passenger car driven by 49-year-old Stephen Duncan of English was traveling north on State Road 162 and failed to notice a crossover SUV being driven by 30-year-old Allison Schneiders of Troy, which deputies say was stopped in the northbound lane of I-62, waiting to make a left-hand turn onto County Road 700 South. Authorities say that Duncan could not stop his vehicle in time and rear-ended Schneiders' SUV. Duncan was taken to Memorial Hospital in Jasper by ambulance to be treated for pain to his left knee. Schneiders was also taken to Memorial after she complained of neck and back and shoulder pain. Also, Schneiders' 3 young children, ages 4 and 3 and 5 months, were backseat passengers in her SUV. Deputies say that despite no visible injuries, they were taken to Memorial as well, just as a precautionary. Deputies pointed out that the proper use of child restraints on all 3 children prevented and/or greatly reduced the seriousness of any potential injuries. No charges were filed, and State Road 162 was shut down for about a half an hour while the accident was being investigated and the scene was cleared. The DuBois County Sheriff's Department was assisted at the scene by the Ferdinand Police Department, first responders with the Ferdinand Fire Department, and also Memorial Hospital Emergency Medical Services. Some public objections in regards to the recent naming of a soon-to-be-built new elementary school prompted the Greater Jasper Consolidated School Board to reschedule a special meeting, and in the end, a compromise was officially made. Towards the end of the meeting that took place last night in the community room of the Jasper High School before roughly 70 people, the Greater Jasper Board decided to rename the school Jasper Elementary School, with the school's library to be named the Wilson Media Center. Last week, board members initially decided to name the school Wilson Elementary after education pioneers George and Margaret Wilson, following a presentation from local historians Junie Himsel and Joe Roletter. The meeting kicked off with the statements from Greater Jasper Superintendent Dr. Tracy Lorai, followed by each board member. Member Tim DeMott began by saying that he was open to reconsideration of what had been previously decided, and Kent now shared in his statement to the room that he stood by the initial decision but would also stand by his constituents' requests. After hearing public comments over the past week, Greg Eckerly declared that he too was willing to make a compromise and was in favor of using the Wilson name in regards to the school's media center. Arlette Jackal expressed her frustration with the negative feedback received this past week due to the naming of the school, and that some of the comments that she received had become personal. However, she too was sure that the board and the public could reach a concession. She said that regardless, the name that she will support is in the new school. Board President Bernie Vogler admitted that the topic should have been tabled due to what might have thought was a quick decision.
I should have asked for this to be delayed, and because it gives the appearance that we're trying to pull a fast one or something. We're not trying to pull anything fast. It's just that it should have been held off, and I don't necessarily like everything that happened. There's a lot of people out there that supported that name, and for them I feel badly. But hopefully this is a compromise, and if we do up that Wilson thing in the media center there in this new building, then I'm going to be okay with it.
After hearing from the board, the floor was open to the public comments, and local attorney Greg Schneer, in a read statement, recognized that the board performed their due diligence. However, he did voice that some concern that the general public was not heard.
When you're taking on a building structure such as this and the size of its magnitude and the impact on the tax dollars, they sought a lot of input on what was the most feasible outcome for remodeling a school or building a new school. And I think that was wonderful. I think that process continued through a lot of it, but I believe the impression of the community is that when the decision to rename the school, they may have done their due diligence, but the input from the community wasn't heard entirely, and they gave them an opportunity to say their piece this evening, which I think is an appropriate outcome.
After all was said and done, Dr. Lorai made the recommendation to name the future elementary school Jasper Elementary, with special recognition going to the Wilson siblings in the form of naming the school's library after the influential pair. The board's vote was unanimously in favor of the compromise name, and Lorai says that despite the negative light shed on the situation, the end result was a win-win.
And so when we think about the kinds of habits that we try to instill in the elementary students that attend those schools, we think about one of the habits that talks about finding a win-win. We want our kids to find a win-win. We should certainly set the example to try to find a win-win in this situation. So we feel like the decision to name the school Jasper Elementary School, and then to be able to name and dedicate the media center in that new school, Wilson Media Center, with the opportunity to provide some educational opportunities and displays for kids to really truly understand what the heritage and legacy that they left us would be, is a way to get a win-win.
School officials hope the new elementary school, to be located on Jasper's north side, consolidating the aging 10th Street and 5th Street elementary schools, will be completed and ready for students by the 2019-2020 school year. As the holiday season approaches, many children are anxiously awaiting presents under their tree, and thanks to the annual Cops and Kids shopping event hosted by the local chapter of Fraternal Order of Police 138 Wood Capitol Lodge, there were smiling faces on all of 50 of the children who participated in today's event at the Jasper Walmart store. Multiple law enforcement agencies, including those from Jasper, Huntingburg, Ferdinand, and the DuBois County Sheriff's Office, the Indiana State Police, and DNR officers took part in this year's program. Police officers chauffeured 49 students from the local TriCap Head Start program around Walmart as they picked out items to have underneath the tree on Christmas morning. Children were guided on choosing the necessities, which included clothing and shoes, and then were taken for a trip down the toy aisle. When the event started in 2002, it was only able to host 5 children, but support grew quickly for the program, and it was just a short time later that all children attending TriCap Head Start were able to take part in the day's events. Molly Wootner, Assistant Director for TriCap Head Start program, has been involved with the Cops and Kids event since it began.
This is our most favorite day of the year. It's a lot of smiles, it's a lot of wonderful community support. It shows kids, officers in a positive light, and it is just heartwarming. I don't know, you can start to see some of the kids come through. It's just heartwarming, and it just puts a smile on everybody's face.
Sergeant Adam Bauer with the Jasper Police, who works in partnership with TriCap to help organize the event, was excited that this gives the children a chance to know police in a more positive way.
We get to give a good light, a good relationship, a good rapport between law enforcement and kids in the community. And I mean, some of these kids may have not seen us in the best light in their past. And, you know, it's a fun day that we get to interact and just have a good time. We get to throw all law enforcement, all laws, everything aside and just have fun with kids.
And what is Sergeant Bauer's favorite part of the day?
The smiles on their face.
After the shopping was done, children were escorted up Newton Street to the Jasper Moose Lodge for lunch and also for a visit with Santa Claus. The sound of a car alarm alerted a patrolling Jasper police officer and eventually led to the Tuesday evening arrest of a Jasper man on a trio of charges including possession of marijuana. Around 7:15 last night, an officer was in the area of the lofts where he heard the alarm going off. The officer checked the area and noticed a vehicle driven off of a high rate of speed and then ran a stop sign. The officer tried to stop the vehicle driven by 25-year-old Mariko Hernandez Rico of Jasper. Police say that Rico attempted to flee to his address at the corner of 14th and Dewey Streets, and they say that Rico exited the vehicle and was taken into custody. Rico was found to not have a driver's license and was also found to be in possession of marijuana. He was taken to and booked into the DuBois County Security Center on charges of operator never licensed, resisting law enforcement with motor vehicle, and possession of marijuana. Congratulations goes out to Hope Garden and the Southern Indiana Education Center. They were today's recipients of a $1,000 grant courtesy of the DuBois County Community Foundation's 12 Days of Giving, which is a year-end granting blitz for local nonprofits. Helping others produce enthusiasm grows and distributes thousands of pounds of fresh vegetables to hundreds of needy families annually. The Southern Indiana Education Center works alongside principals and teachers on site in all DuBois County schools, providing support and professional development to grow leadership and help schools be prepared to meet the needs of students as they arise. Hope Garden and the Southern Indiana Education Center are now eligible for a $10,000 grant chosen by the public on Facebook. The public can cast a vote next Tuesday, December the 12th, from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. for the nonprofit that they wish to receive the final $10,000 grant. A total of $22,000 will be granted to local charities during the 12 Days of Giving, and this year's 12 grant recipients were chosen by last year's grant recipients with the goal of paying it forward. You can learn more by visiting the Community Foundation's Facebook page or by calling Nona Baker at 812-482-5295. Officers from the DuBois County Sheriff's Department have wrapped up fundraising for No Shave November. Officers paid to put away their razors for the month to benefit the Southwestern Indiana Child Advocacy Center Coalition and made a donation to participate. The objective was to raise money and increase awareness about the coalition and what they do. The Southwestern Indiana Child Advocacy Center of Coalition provides safe reporting locations for victims of crimes and their families with community-based multidisciplinary teams that provide support, promote justice, and help prevent violence. Officers from the DuBois County Sheriff's Department work hand in hand with staff from the coalition investigating incidents of child abuse within DuBois County. You can learn more by visiting their website at swicacc.com. And officers from the DuBois County Sheriff's Department will be joined by staff from DuBois Middle School, the DuBois County Prosecutor's Office, and a local business that graciously agreed to help. Funds raised this year were supplemented by a donation of $500 from American Family Insurance, the Kim Woodward Agency of Jasper, and a total of $962.72 was raised, and all officers involved have returned to normal shaving. A presentation was made to Tammy Lampert with the coalition on Tuesday. And make sure you keep it right here, because up next we're going to take a look at your weather summary.